Well, blockchain's also interesting. So, complete pivot from government and the military. Blockchain technology is very interesting because it's very secure.
Yep.
For now.
Yep.
Hackers will figure it out eventually, but...
Not if you have a private permission ledger. That's the hope, but at least.
Well, fingers crossed. But I think that kind of blockchain stuff, where I do see the metaverse or blockchain or this new kind of, like, the technology behind something like a crypto being successful is entertainment.
Yep.
Video games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, VR is cool in video games for a little bit, but in terms of just, like, what those graphics cards can do and what you can do on a screen, I think video games and entertainment is where that stuff, it really is like entotech. Instead of fintech, that technology can be used for entertainment.
Entech, yeah.
And entotech, yeah. And entech, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be really interesting. I don't know. What do you see the future of, like, video games?
I'm not much of a gamer. Like, it's funny. Like, just last night, my son absolutely kicked my ass at the one football game or the one video game I kind of play is Madden on the Xbox, and my son still absolutely whomped me. I think it was 31-10 or something like that. But I think that video games will continue to become more immersive. I think that you'll eventually move away from the headsets, and they'll find a way to make it even more immersive than that. Whether it's, the model I like to think of is I'm a really bad golfer. But I still enjoy the game of golf. And one way I try to get to be a better golfer, which doesn't really work, but it's
virtual golf.
Exactly, is virtual golf. You go into these simulator bays, and you're kind of, you got this big screen that you're hitting at. It's measuring all your, all the different, benchmarks as far as, ball speed, launch angle, everything else. It measures all that in real time. It's super cool. And I think that, you kind of look at the next evolution of that, which might be, instead of just hitting into a screen, that screen sort of surrounds you. You have views of, maybe other players off to one side, or maybe, the rest of the course off to the other, make it a little bit more ambient as far as sounds and everything else. But another one that kind of comes to mind is Formula One. I mean, there are
racing.
people who have these thousands and tens of thousands of dollars on these fully kind of kitted out Formula One simulators, where they'll buy, specially made accelerator pedals and specially made paddles and steering wheels and everything, and they'll sit at home in this this open cockpit that looks like the cockpit of an F1 car and drive the F1 circuits. And from what I've seen, it is pretty realistic. I think it's just going to be, things will continue to get, whether it's a VR headset or not, I think overall video games are just going to get more and more immersive.
Not only that, I could see it for music too. Like, we have this whole thing of Taylor Swift and Bruce Springsteen tickets costing $6,000.
Yep.
With the monopoly that is Ticketmaster.
Yep.
How can you break that kind of monopoly? Well, you have virtual concerts. I could totally see people going to a virtual concert.
I think that's one thing that definitely has come out of the pandemic. Is, a couple bands that I follow have kind of started offering a virtual option for some of their shows. I don't think you'll ever see fully virtual, because you can't beat the experience of being there, of singing at the top of your lungs, of walking through, stepping through spilled beer and smelling the marijuana smoke and everything
Saturday.
else.
So
exactly.
yeah,
who are you seeing?
You can't virtually mosh. We're seeing the Starting Line.
I don't know them.
Yeah. It's punk rock.